The fastest way to build a property portfolio through correct finance structuring. So the finance industry incorrectly focuses on just one thing, that is the lowest interest rate. So often, people are looking for that lowest rate, or, what is the best deal for them, or what they think is the best deal for them.
Even though they might not even qualify for it.
Yeah, even though they might not qualify for that lowest rate or that best deal out there. So you could really go onto the Google search and put in lowest interest rate available on the market. So, this leads to a couple of things. So, people with focusing on the lowest interest rate, they're just really focused on, firstly knowing their borrowing capacity. That's their ultimate goal.
With any bank.
With any bank. And they get handcuffed because more often than not, they are put into finance arrangements such as cross-collateralization, which ends up costing them much more down the track because it's risky finance structures.
Well, just imagine the risk of being cross-collateralized, which means two properties being tied together and not being able to buy another few properties just because the lender wouldn't release the equity.
Yeah, just because you wanted the lowest rate, you end up in that scenario. You may have your home loan with the wrong bank because it may not really support your needs and your goals or your aspirations of being able to build that property portfolio, have that financial freedom that you're looking for through property.
And you may be stuck because of how poorly it's set up from a tax perspective, so you cannot borrow further or not have the tax benefits.
Tax efficiency, yeah. Well, a lot of the times that a lot of people that we speak to, they are looking for that lowest rate, but what that leads them to is, being stuck in finance arrangements that will really hamper their chances of being able to grow their wealth through property.
So what we suggest you consider doing differently is first look at what your goal is. Where do you want to be? Do you want to buy multiple properties, or do you just want to buy one property? Do you want to build $1 million, $2 million, $3 million property portfolio? And then work out with your investment savvy mortgage broker as to whether it's a possibility for you. What numbers should you be targeting? Because if you have the resources, let's say for argument's sake, $200,000 in equity right now, how many properties can you buy with that? What should be the minimum rent on those properties with your resources and your income?
Yeah, and then you need to holistically look at how efficient or tax efficient your loan structures are. So obviously you do need a good tax accountant on board who could assist you with that. However, the way the loans are to be structured, it needs to make sure that you're maximizing tax efficiency
and maximizing your borrowing for the long term, and going to lenders in a specific order, so you continue maximizing your borrowing capacity on one purchase and then be able to do the next one and the one after that. And also it's important to look at how you can minimize risk, as we talked about cross-collateralization earlier. How do you avoid that? How do you keep each property independent of each other and to move forward?
Yeah, so ultimately, if you do have a desire to be able to build a property portfolio and you want to do it the correct way, but through correct finance structuring, so you can maximize your tax efficiency and minimize risk, then there's a correct way of going on about it. When people move from one property to the next and the one after that, there's a method to the madness.
Yeah, and they pay off their home loans fast and still be able to accumulate investment properties. So the gist of this is, people focus on the pricing or the interest rate first, and then they look at the lender and then the structuring, when in fact the structuring piece needs to come up front. And then you consider, rate, which lender you go to is further down the list than the right way of doing things.
Hope this helps, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.